Yo people, how's it going? It's your boy Richard Morse back at it again with another Game Week preview. And yeah, this time we're reviewing Game Week number 2 of the Premier League season. And yeah, let's just go straight into it with the first game of that Game Week, which was West Ham 1, Chelsea 5. Now, I watched parts of this game on Friday, and yeah, it was a very interesting game. Like, defensively, Chelsea were all over the place to start off with. They were just a bit... They just couldn't get going, and then West Ham looked like they were going to go 2-0 up or 2-1 up. And then slowly but surely Chelsea sorted their shit out and got straight back into the game. The one thing I am the most annoyed with is bloody Cole Palmer, mate. Our captain Cole Palmer for my fantasy team, thinking, against West Ham, this is the one he's really going to turn up and shine in. And what does he do? Literally in the warm-up, basically he just pulls a sickie because he wants to get to Notting Hill Carnival. And I'm just like, really, dude? Like, the one time I need a Chelsea player to turn up, he goes missing. But in fairness, they won 5-1, so I don't think it mattered if he played or not, really. It could have been 7-1 the way he gave. If Palmer played, it probably would have been 7 or 8-1. But yeah, Chelsea get another win. Like, I know they drew against Palace, but Palace were always one of those fixtures where you never know with Palace. You can either get a really tough game out of them, where you go really down to the wire, or they could just turn up and absolutely dominate you. So the fact that Chelsea have got a draw and a win just in the first 2 games is pretty good for them. Now, here's a good one. Man City 0, Tottenham 2. Now, for some reason, Tottenham are this bogey team for Manchester City. Like, I think the record says, like, Pep has lost to them 10 times or something like that now. Like, there's something about Tottenham. He just can't... It's almost like he's got a mental block. He just can't get around these fuckers. And yeah, that's 2 wins in a row, 2 clean sheets as well for Tottenham. Like, Thomas Frank is flying right now at Tottenham. Like, and now he's got to go against Bournemouth. He's going to play us next at home as well. Like, at home at Tottenham Stadium. Like, yeah, you know, as much as I would love to say, oh yeah, Bournemouth have a fighting chance, Tottenham are one of the informed teams at the moment, so it's not going to be an easy game. But saying that, we have beaten Tottenham before at their stadium, so there is some hope. I don't think we're going to be odds-on favourite to win that match, to be brutally honest, lads. I think it would be kind of similar to the Liverpool game, where you just look at the 2 teams that are in form, in terms of form-wise. Tottenham are just beating Manchester City, whereas Bournemouth only beat Wolves 1-0. It's going to be similar to the Liverpool game, where people are going to think, oh yeah, we're going to be fed. Like, we're going to lose 3-0, 4-0. If Semenyo doesn't turn up, or Evan Nilsson gets any chances and goal, then yeah, it's going to be a 3-0, 4-0 thrashing from Tottenham to us. And yeah, but you know, we never know. Anything can happen in football. Let's just leave it at that. Now we go on to our game. Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0. I did do a watch along with my mate Steve for this game, and yeah, it was I was glad we got the victory, but the way we got the victory is a little bit worrying. I'm not gonna lie and sugarcoat it, lads. Like, the fact that we seemed to perform better when it was going against 11 Wolves team players rather than 10 when it went down to 10 men, that was a little bit of a worry. And the fact we only won 1-0, and to be honest, the goal that we scored with Tav was a bit of a freak goal, to be honest. It wasn't like a absolute worldie or finisher. It was just sort of he hit it, it deflected off a defender, went into the net. It was very lucky, to be brutally honest. It could have been a 0-0 draw. I think that's what a lot of boys thought it was going to be. And yeah, the fact that once we got the first goal, we thought, okay, we need to get a second one. We were saying that for like nearly 40, 50 minutes, and nothing was happening. And like I said, what made it worse is that once they went down to 10 men, we seemed to get worse as well, despite having the extra man. But, you know, at the end of the day, a win's a win. As long as you get the 3 points, who cares? We move. And now we've got to play Tottenham, like I said, in the next game away. Not one of our most best grounds to go away. We have beaten them once before, but only once. That's the only thing. And yeah, in recent times, I think we lost like 3-0 the last time we went there, so it's not really looking good for us. But it's one of those, it's still early doors of the season. You know, teams are going to be up and down the table like every week because of how early on in the season it is. Once we get to about game week 10, that's usually when people, position-wise, are getting pretty much where they expected to be, and there'll be very few little changes from there. The first couple of games, people will go from 2nd to 12th in like 2 games. Is that sort of thing. And now we go to Brentford with Dango. Go on, Dango, my boy. Brentford versus Aston Villa. The fact that Brentford got the win over Aston Villa is a bit shocking, to be honest. I didn't expect that one. And the fact it was Dango Ouattara, former Bournemouth player, getting on his first game as well, gets a goal, scoring on the winner. Like, my hats off to him. Like, I think a lot of people thought when Mbeumo left, Weasel left, like, and obviously Thomas Frank as well when he went to Tottenham, like, everybody thought, oh yeah, Brentford are dead in the water. They've lost all their main players. Similar to like what happened to a Wolves and Brighton team a while ago, where like just lost all their key players and it just felt like they were just never the same again. But in fairness, to go up against Villa, who were probably the odds-on favourite for that game, and come out the winner, hats off to them. And now we've got to play them in the Carabao Cup later on today. It's going to be an interesting one. Against Brentford, it's always a very down-to-the-wire game for Bournemouth. I've seen it so many times where we thought, oh yeah, we're going to got the winner here. We just got to hold on. Literally, last second, Kirkhead slips, lets Mbeumo through, and they score last minute to make an equaliser. So, personally, for me, I think tonight's game is going to be a penalty shootout. I can just see it being a penalty shootout. It's going to be Brentford are either going to defend for their lives and maybe catch a late equaliser, or we just go all out full strength team and we dominate. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, we move on to the next game, which is an interesting one, because I did predict this, to be honest. Burnley 2, Sunderland 0. I think if you looked at the two teams, you probably said with the signings that Sunderland have made, you think, oh yeah, Sunderland are going to win this. Everybody thinks Burnley are the worst team in the league and they're definitely going to be bottom of the barrel. They're pretty much going to be this season Southampton. But what people forget is Sunderland and Burnley have been playing each other in the Championship, so they know each other's tactics and, ideals pretty well. So the fact that Burnley came up with not just, 1-0 win, but 2-0 win against Sunderland, with all the signings that Sunderland have made, I think it's pretty impressive, to be really honest. Like, everyone thought, oh yeah, Burnley are just going to be, this season Southampton, they'll lose 20 games easily, without even trying. And yeah, fair play to them. That's all I can say for that one. Now, the big victory is obviously Arsenal with 5-0 victory over Leeds. I mean, in fairness, it is Leeds, so it's not exactly a shocker, but Arsenal 5-0. Victor Gyökeres finally gets off the mark with not one but 2 goals as well. And I think like that was the game for him. Like, if he's going to step up and prove himself to be the main goal scorer and the main attacking threat for Arsenal's team this season, this was the game to step up and prove it. And yeah, he's off the mark. We'll see how he goes from there. After that, we have Crystal Palace versus Nottingham Forest 1-1. Yeah, I think that's one of those games where you kind of expect it to be a 1-1. You look at the two teams, they're quite evenly matched, to be really honest. There's not much difference between the two teams. And I think, obviously, Gahey's rumoured to go to Liverpool, and Forest, obviously, they've lost Elanga. They've only barely held on to Gibbs White, because, well, let's be honest, he's pretty much been held at gunpoint at this point. If they lose like Gibbs White, say in January, then Forest are in trouble. And also, Nuno Santo is looking like he could be losing his job. Like, the ownership and the coaches are just constantly butting heads, and it's only a matter of time before they say, you know what, you're out of here, you're gone, I've had enough of you. So it's going to be an interesting season for Palace and Nottingham Forest, especially now that Palace have lost Eze to Arsenal as well. That's a big hit. If they lose Gahey to Liverpool as well, then it could be a long season. Now we go on to Everton versus Brighton. Now that one was a surprise to me. 2-0 win for Everton against Brighton. Like, on paper you think, yeah, Brighton should win that. But then Everton, with the signings they've made recently, obviously they got Jack Grealish on loan. They've signed Dibbling as well. And I think they've signed there's another player, but I can't remember who he is at the top of my head. But they've started making really smart tactical signings where it's looking like they're not going to be skirting relegation again. But then, saying that, it's only game week 2. We still got a very long season to go, so let's not jump the gun too early. But yeah, I think with the signings they made, I think Everton will be fine, to be honest. I think they're not going to be one of those that are going to be in danger, but like I said, it's only game week 2. Anything can happen. Now we go on to the next game of Fulham 1, Man United 1. Like, Man United, man, like, God. You thought when they signed Sesko, they brought in Mbeumo, like, you thought, like, okay, and Cunha as well from Wolves, you think this is going to be where they're going to start turning things around. Ruben Amorim's finally got his players in. He's going to start, incorporating his ideologies into these new players, getting them all working together and get them off and running. And then they were 1-0 up and they slip up and make it 1-1 for Fulham. Like, I'll be honest, I don't think Amorim's going to make it to January. If he doesn't turn things around, especially when they got Burnley next, if he can't get a win there, then a few questions are going to have to be asked after that. If you can't beat Burnley, then you're in trouble. All right, obviously the final game of this week was Newcastle 2, Liverpool 3, Rio. Like, it really was really reminiscent of that 1996 Stan Collymore, the legendary game. Was it 4-3? Stan Collymore at the end, the infamous Kevin Keegan hangs his head, he's devastated. The season where Newcastle were challenging for the title, Keegan goes, to Man United and Fergie, I'd love it if we beat them. I would love it if we beat them. And obviously that's when they had the meltdown, and that's when we had the Stan Collymore moment happens where it's 3-3 and last minute Stan Collymore wins it for Liverpool. And it's pretty much similar to this game here where like Liverpool were 2-0 up, Etitikier got a goal, and then obviously Gravenberch as well. And then Newcastle clawed it back to 2-2. Then obviously there was the red card incident with Anthony Gordon with Virgil van Dijk. And then you think, oh, it's going to be a draw. Like, it feels like Liverpool have thrown it away. And then literally just lazy defending at the end, just fell asleep. Rio's just there at the back post, curls it round, 3-2, winner. And yeah, that's all the game results for this coming week. Obviously, we got the new week coming up. I'll be doing another review once all the scores are done. And yeah, I'm just about to go off to the EFL Carabao Cup game, Bournemouth versus Brentford later on tonight. I'm excited for that. It's my first home game of the season as well, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that one goes. I think if I'm going to do a prediction for that game, I'm going to say it's probably going to be either we win 2-0 or it's going to be a 1-1 penalty shootout. I can see it being that sort of a game. So yeah, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching my review. I've been your boy, Richard Morse. Please leave a like, share and subscribe down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next review next week. See you later. Up the cheers.